All right, so today we'll be doing a tier list of the main Final Fantasy games. Now, Final Fantasy is a series that's been pretty important to me. Been playing these games for over 15 years, and I thought this would be pretty fun to try out. So here I have 1 through 16. I decided to add a few things like tactics and some of the side games in there as well. But for the most part, it's mostly just the main games. And let's go ahead and get started. I got them going all in order. So starting with the original Final Fantasy. Now, I appreciate this game a lot for what it did. I know this game was very revolutionary at the time. It was pretty groundbreaking. I think nowadays you can still have fun with it, depending on kind of what versions you're playing. I think this is a B tier. I really enjoy the game. I just don't think I could really put it any higher because the later games just improved on a lot of the other mechanics. Even the job system was improved quite a bit from this original game. But it's a classic game. It's definitely worth checking out, especially if you have appreciation for older RPGs. Now, Final Fantasy II tends to get a lot of flack. This game definitely does have its problems, but I actually kind of like it. If you're playing, especially like the PSP and the Pixel Remaster versions, I feel it's a bit better. The gameplay is very experimental. You got a very like weird leveling system, which does kind of work to its detriment, but at the same time, I do like the freedom. It's a bit more creative to me. I enjoy it actually more than the first game. I think that it's pretty cool how you can go about building your characters. And this game, I think it deserves a bit more credit because the things that this game was doing for its time, the story itself was a. They seem to emphasize on the narrative quite a bit more than the original game, and I actually really like it for that. But yeah, I would also put this on the B tier, but I actually prefer this to the first game. And even if a game's on the same tier, I'm going to rank them. So if it's on the left, I'm going to rank it a bit higher. Now, Final Fantasy III, interesting enough, I think this is the most underrated game in the series. And I am a bit biased. This is the first RPG I've ever played. Not just the first Final Fantasy, but just like the first turn-based RPG I've ever played. And I really enjoy it. The job system really gravitated to me. I felt like it was a big step up from the first game. That being said, putting my bias aside, I still feel like this there's a lot to improve on this. The story, they kind of went back to crystals, and it wasn't as interesting as what they did with the second game. In fact, you're really just playing this game for the gameplay itself. But I did feel like the job system in this game was quite a big step up to what you have seen in previous games. Well, referring to the first game, that is. Now that you have like 20 plus jobs and stuff, and then the world map in this game is actually really good for the time. A very underrated soundtrack as well. I would say definitely check this game out. But just know that it has some, it's a bit archaic and it could be a bit hard to get into, but I really enjoy this game. And this is definitely my favorite out of the first three. I think it's a bit shy from the A tier, but I have a lot of fondness and nostalgia, and I really appreciate Final Fantasy 3. Now, Final Fantasy 4, I'm actually currently doing a Let's Play on this, so if you're curious, you could check that out. But Final Fantasy 4 is, I feel like where Final Fantasy really kind of got put on the map, and it started getting like very, I don't know if I use the word mainstream, but this game was very important for the Final Fantasy series. This game really focuses on the narrative. This really felt like a big step up in terms of quality from the previous games. The story in this game is actually really, really good. In fact, this has my second favorite main character in the Final Fantasy series. We'll get to the who I think is the best later on, but yeah, Cecil is an awesome main character. I enjoy that in this game you have 5 characters in your party, and the characters. That's something I should mention. The characters in this game are really, really good. A big step up from what you've seen in previous games. They have really good personalities and backstories, and they all interact very well. The gameplay is really cool. They went to a sort of a class distinction, so everybody kind of specializes in something, which I kind of like. It gives them more purpose to the characters you're using, unlike in some games where like every character can do the same thing. The soundtrack in this game is really, really good. It's actually phenomenal. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, it's just this is a classic Final Fantasy game. I really enjoyed what they did with this game, and now you can pretty much play this on damn near every single console you can think of. They've remade this game multiple times, and I think this is also a very good entry point. Uh, if you're new to the Final Fantasy series, this is one of the games I would definitely start with. You really can't go wrong with Final Fantasy IV. Classic story told right, and the game is just awesome. So I'm actually going to throw this in the A tier. I think this is it's an amazing game. Final Fantasy V. Now, this is one of the Final Fantasies that I also feel like it's underrated, but I think 3 is probably even a bit more underrated. People are coming around to 5 because that I'm telling you, man, that job system is something special. Final Fantasy V is a lot of fun, and I'm starting to feel like I like it the more and more I play it. The job system is even more involved. They definitely improved on it from the third game. The third game did have like some kind of gripes where you would need kind of certain jobs for certain areas, but here it's like complete freedom with your jobs. You can mix and match job skills, and you can have like 2 slots, so it's really cool. The world map in this game is I really like the world map and kind of what they do with that. I don't want to touch further on that because they're kind of spoilers, but five is awesome. The story, they kind of went back to crystals, and I do feel like it's kind of a step down from what they were doing in the fourth game, but nonetheless, it's still a pretty good story. A really cool villain, and the soundtrack in this game is pretty good. I think that soundtrack is also kind of overlooked. It has some of the greater songs you'll see in the series, but I'm trying to think of my rating. I think see these two are very interchangeable. There's actually like a few games that feel like are kind of interchangeable. It kind of just depends on the day. Final Fantasy V, I do like the gameplay actually quite a bit more, but I feel like 4 is more refined in all forms of the like gameplay, story, characters, music. So it kind of really just depends on the day. Sometimes I feel like 5 is better than 4, but I think overall 4 might be just a tad bit better because overall I feel like it's a bit more polished. But nonetheless, these two I would definitely say are A tier games. Now, Final Fantasy VI, funny enough, I still remember quite vividly like around the first time I played this game. That was probably back in like 2013. Ooh, it was quite some time. And I remember at the time not thinking too much of it, but this game has grown on me quite a bit. I really enjoy this game. In fact, I feel like this has arguably the best storyline in the series. There's one game that I do prefer to it, but in terms of story, but 6 is awesome. The story in this game is amazing. I understand now why this game gets so much praise. I had a lot of fun with it, and I do revisit it quite often. I like the Esper system and like having stat bonuses as well. I think that was really cool. I like how each character was sort of specialized. You could also kind of train them to. This game had kind of a lot of freedom with how you built their characters and stuff. The characters in this game were awesome. And in fact, this has like the biggest cast. There's like 14 characters. The soundtrack in this game is phenomenal. I absolutely love what they did with Dancing Mad. I even love Kefka's Tower and songs like Searching for Friends and Realms theme. Like, there's a lot of really good songs in this soundtrack. It's very consistent, very, very good. And I really enjoy the structure of this game. I thought that for the time, it was really, really um, interesting that they even did that. It's a very, very bold move. I really enjoyed what they did. This game really does feel ahead of its time. And yeah, this is actually one of my favorite Final Fantasies. Uh, Again, this game has really grown on me over time. I remember at first being kind of annoyed with kind of like what goes on with the second half of this game. Like, I love it so much from a design standpoint or from a story kind of standpoint, but from the design point, that was kind of one thing that knocked it down for me. I've learned to appreciate it more, but that was always one thing that kind of threw me off. But yeah, this game is awesome. In fact, I think this is better than 4 and 5, and I would put this at the S tier. The first game that would go to the S tier. Now, Final Fantasy VII, this was the second game I played in the series. This is what I played after 3. And this was back in like 2011. Final Fantasy 3 I played back in 2010. And I really gravitated to 7. This is kind of my first exposure with the PlayStation 1. And I really enjoyed it. There's a lot to say about this game. Uh, Even at now, I think nowadays people think it's uh, a lot extremely overrated, but I never really felt that way with this game. Now, this game does have like its flaws, but I still really enjoy them. I never really had an issue with the graphics. It was more so the translation. Uh, Apparently, this game had like a very small development team or something like that, and that was kind of one issue that I ran into. But apart from that, I really enjoy this game. This game really opened my eyes to because I really enjoyed Final Fantasy 3, but I feel like this game kind of took it to another level. I really loved the material system, the characters. I played this game, and after I beat it, I remember starting a save like shortly after because of the impact. But yeah, this game had a pretty big impact on me when I was younger. I really enjoyed what they did with the story in this game. To me, this game is just timeless. It has a lot of replay value that I constantly see myself going back to. I really enjoy the material system. I feel like it's actually one of my favorite kind of progressive systems in any Final Fantasy, and how you can customize your characters. It's a lot of fun trying out the different combinations. The soundtrack is I'm trying to think where I would put this. It's probably like my third favorite. Like I really enjoy the soundtrack. I feel like once you start entering the PS1 era, those are like the best soundtracks in the series. But there is one on the PS2 that I think is my favorite soundtrack. But yeah, seven's amazing. Seven and six, I actually think they're pretty much like on par. Like I like them both pretty much equally. I think I would prefer seven a bit over six just because of the replay value. But just like four and five, feel like these games are interchangeable. There are times where I feel like six might be better, but I think seven is more. I find myself coming back to it more. I don't know. I think it's probably just the replay value. But yeah, these two, six and seven, I feel like this is when Final Fantasy series really peaked. This is when they really had the formula going down right, and they were just nailing it. Now, Final Fantasy, I guess I'll slide in tactics now. Now, this is one of my I don't know how I just haven't gotten to this game at this point yet. I've actually played quite a few Fire Emblem games and I really enjoy them. But in terms of strategy RPGs, that's really all I've played. But I really, really enjoy them. So I don't know why I haven't really gotten myself to play this. I know that when I do get to Final Fantasy Tactics, I'm gonna love it because apparently there's like a job system incorporated into it. And I'm like I absolutely love the job system. So I find it hard to see that I wouldn't like this game. In fact, I'm pretty sure this game would rank very high, but I'm not gonna rank it. I have a haven't played section. I'm gonna slot that in. I played like the first 2 hours just to get a feel for it, but I have not played that game enough to give my opinions on it. But I do plan on playing that very soon. All right, Final Fantasy VIII. Now, as you can see, I have Final Fantasy 2 in the B tier, so you can probably know that in terms of these games that are very experimental in the series, I actually kind of gravitate towards them. And that's what I love about Final Fantasy. It's like the complete opposite of the Dragon Quest series. Like they really try something new pretty much every game, and I thank them for that because eight was really cool. Now I do understand how some people can get kind of annoyed with the junction system. It takes time to get used to, and drawing magic can be quite annoying. But I think the triple triad is like one of the best minigames I've ever seen in a video game, and I love how it's incorporated into the game. It's a lot of fun. And usually when I play this, I do a like I play the card game and stuff, but I don't like doing the low level runs. I find that pretty boring. So I still level up as if I was playing a normal game, and I find it pretty fun that way. Now I feel like this is probably the best soundtrack. Again, I said later on there's another game past this. I feel like it's just a tad bit better, but I'd say this is my second favorite soundtrack. Nobuo Uematsu really outdid himself with the soundtrack. It is absolutely amazing. Story itself, I enjoy the story, although I feel like it's a bit. I'm trying to figure out the words to say it. You can go to some like weird places, and I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the story. I do enjoy it, but I feel like that's probably like the one thing holding it back for me. But I would slot this in the A tier, and I would put it before four and sometimes I feel like I probably did like it more than four and five, but I feel like four and five is a bit more polished and consistent. And I think I would prefer those games over eight, but I still love eight nonetheless. Now, Final Fantasy IX, this game is amazing. This is what I played after seven. So this is the third game I played, and I absolutely fell in love with this game. Just like seven, I really gravitated towards this one. This is when I started really becoming kind of like obsessed with the Final Fantasy series, and I knew that I had to play them all. I feel like this has by far the best cast of characters. In fact, I don't really think that a game kind of even comes close to. I feel like this has one of the best cast of characters you will ever see in a JRPG. Like, it's absolutely amazing. And I really enjoyed my time with this game. I've replayed it quite a bit. The soundtrack in this game is amazing. This is probably my third favorite or fourth favorite. It's between this and seven. Um, I feel very similar to this game, how I feel about seven. Like I just absolutely I feel like nine and seven have the best world maps to me. I feel like the side quests in this game were a lot of fun too. The the story itself was really good. And in fact, playing this game after playing seven feels kind of funny because the translation in this game is amazing. Like I don't know how I feel like this has the best translation you ever see in a Final Fantasy game. And this game is very charming. It's just like anyone who's played it knows what I'm talking about, but this is the most charming Final Fantasy game. I love how they went back and paid homage to all the older Final Fantasy games. And this game is just a classic. I really enjoyed it. I love the ability systems, like how you equip armor and stuff and weapons, and you learn abilities from that. I thought that was awesome. And yeah, nine is a. I do prefer nine to six, I think, a bit, if you were to rank them between the two. Now, between nine and seven, this is like I always have the biggest like I go back and forth with these games quite a bit. The thing with nine, I feel like the only thing holding it back from being like probably better than seven to me is the gameplay itself. The gameplay is not bad. It has like this character distinction system kind of going where everyone's like specialized, kind of like what's going on in Final Fantasy IV. But I feel like the biggest drawback to nine is its battle system. It's very like kind of slow and laggy. And it's I don't know, considering that this game came out after eight and seven, which I didn't really mention. Eight and seven have amazing post game. The super bosses in those games are some of the best in the series. And the gameplay itself was just a bit more involved and just a lot faster. That's like the one thing kind of holding it back for me. But that's like such a minor complaint. I feel like I don't know everything else about nine. Nine is probably the most consistent like Final Fantasy game you'll ever get. But again, it just depends on the day. But I think I would go to seven just because I enjoyed the battle system a bit more, and everything else is pretty much neck and neck. All right, now entering the PS2 era, we have Final Fantasy X, and this is what I played after playing Final Fantasy IX. So this is my fourth game in the series. And I'm not gonna waste your time with this. This is my favorite Final Fantasy game. I This game is just very special to me. In fact, I really don't want to spoil things for like future videos, but just know that this game ranks very, very high. That's a wink, wink. I don't want to say where in the placement, but if you were to see a top 10 favorite games of all time, don't be surprised if you see this very, very high on the list. Now, Final Fantasy X, what I forgot to mention about the previous games is they kind of had this ATB going on, and I really enjoyed it, but I like this conditional turn battle system that they got going, which Final Fantasy 3 had as well. I feel like that's just perfection for me. I absolutely love turn-based RPGs with that formula. And the gameplay in this game is just my favorite. Like I absolutely love the conditional turn-based battle system. I enjoy that you can see the characters in on the side. I absolutely love and think it's such a brilliant idea that you can swap characters in and out. Now apparently games have done this before. I just really haven't played those. I think Dragon Quest IV does that. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think Dragon Quest IV you could do that, right? But I absolutely love that. Like you can swap characters in and out. The gameplay feels really fluid. There's just so much to say about this game. I feel like I can't do it justice. The story is probably my favorite story in the series. Like I absolutely love how emotional it was. This felt like such a spiritual game, and I love what this game had to say about a lot of things. It even tackled into some like themes of like religion. Like this game is not afraid to like kind of dive into certain topics and stuff, but it was an amazing game. Like it was such a soulful game. It left such a huge imprint on me. I remember playing it kind of shortly after, and I still remember that first playthrough so vividly. I was in middle school in the summer, and this game just like completely changed my life. The soundtrack, this is my favorite soundtrack in the series as well. Um, Everyone knows Final Fantasy for Nobuo Uematsu, and this game was kind of interesting. They had quite a few composers. There was Masashi Uematsu. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but his music was it was amazing. It was very ambient, and he went on to do the 13 soundtrack, and I absolutely love it. But yeah, I would have to do like a review on this game because I feel like I can't do it justice here. I would have to talk for it for a lot more time, but just know that I love this game. It's my favorite Final Fantasy, And favorite gameplay, favorite story, favorite soundtrack. It's just everything. Like I absolutely adore this game. And I understand this game isn't perfect, it has its flaws. The dub can be sort of troublesome. Apparently they were having I think it's like when they because when this game was released and with the Japanese voices, they didn't really go back and change the so there's like lip syncing issues and stuff, but even apart that, the linearity, sorry about that, never really bothered me with this game. I feel like I don't know, you're kind of on a pilgrimage, and it just never really bothered me. Again, this game is very like narrative focused. There's like 10-hour cutscenes, but 10 is amazing. I could talk about this game forever. It's definitely my favorite Final Fantasy game. And funny enough, I guess we'll just segment into 10 2. Now, 10 2, I just like kind of recently I've had like a kind of a curse with this game where I keep picking it up and I enjoy the game, but I always get sidetracked. This game is the complete opposite of 10, where it's very non-linear in its approach. It has kind of a chapter system going. But the job system in this game is phenomenal. Like I really enjoyed the job system. I think that's just the best part of this game is the gameplay. The gameplay in this game is really good. It's really in depth. They went back to the ATB, which was really funny, but that's definitely my favorite part of the game. Now, from a story standpoint, I don't really want to spoil 10, but 10 has my favorite ending, um, my favorite story in the series. And I feel like I don't know, this game just kind of takes away from the story of 10, but again, I really don't want to go into like spoilers, but 10 2, I haven't finished this game. Like I said, it's a curse. I keep picking it up, but I can't really get anywhere in there. So how I feel about it now, knowing that I have like 15 hours, I would probably put it in the B tier, but I don't know. It could either go to the A tier or fall down to the C tier. It's just gonna depend on when I get around to it and actually complete it. But I'm not gonna officially rank it yet. Now, Final Fantasy 11, I haven't played. I do want to get to the MMOs at some point because at this point I've beaten all of the mainline Final Fantasies. The MMOs I haven't touched, but I really want to. I want to get down to this game at some point. This in 14, I really want to. I really want to play at some point. I want to see like because there's like big fan bases with 11 and 14. Uh, the one thing that really just deters me is the time commitment, but I do want to check him out at some point. And I feel like I'm gonna have fun because it's gonna be like a completely different approach. All right, now Final Fantasy 12. Now this is probably gonna be the most interesting game on this list because if you would have asked me what I thought about this game when I originally played it back in like 2020, this is one of the games I was playing during the pandemic because this is one of the last Final Fantasy games I had to go and beat. My original thoughts on the PS2 version of this game would probably be C. Well, it's actually more like B, but borderline C tier because I was not a big fan of this game when I first played it. But man, I'm telling you, when I played that Zodiac Age, um, actually fairly recently, this was about a year ago, I fell in love with this game. I feel like the Zodiac Age just improves on this game greatly. I feel like it's one of the greatest remasters you'll ever play. I really enjoy what they did with the job system and how each job has its own license board, as opposed to everyone just having that huge license board where you can kind of go around and do what you want. Every character felt specialized. It was a lot more enjoyable. I love how you could speed up battles. The quality of life improvements in this remaster was just significantly better. I've learned to appreciate the story more as well as the soundtrack, but I still don't. I'm still not the biggest fan of them, but they're definitely good. Uh, this soundtrack actually has quite a few sleepers. I'm actually surprised. Like the Sky City or Brujerba is a song that I absolutely love. That's like in my top five. Osmos Plains, which I know a lot of people kind of talk about Giza Plains and Fawn Coast, but the Osmond Plains, I'm telling you, that is my favorite song in this game. The remastered version of that song is absolutely amazing. Now, I would put this, funny enough, even though I kind of have like, it's not really a gripe, but like stuff with the story and stuff, I would still probably put this in the A tier. And I would put this above Final Fantasy 4. I would put it above 4, 5, and even 8. This might just have cracked my top 5. Like, I absolutely love this game. The next one on this series is going to be Final Fantasy 13. And I actually enjoy this game. Now, I know this game gets kind of hated on. It is very linear and stuff. But 13, I would put this in the A tier. I'm trying to think. I think I'd still do, yeah, prefer 4 or 5, and yeah, I think I would prefer 8 to it. I do like the battle system a lot. The paradigm shift system that they got going on was actually pretty strategic, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the buffing enemies, and it was a lot of fun. The boss fights were actually pretty fun. Now, your first time playing through the game, it might seem kind of convoluted and very difficult, but once you get a hang of the battle system and you grasp it, it's not bad. The soundtrack in this game is absolutely beautiful. Again, like I said, Masashi Masu had uh he worked on the soundtrack, and it's one of my favorites actually. Maybe like fifth or sixth. But yeah, not much I can really say about 13. I actually just enjoy the game. 13 2. Now I feel like I really need to replay this game because as it stands, I feel like I prefer it to 13, but I feel like if I replayed it, 13 might edge it over. 13 feels a bit more polished in terms of its like gameplay. I still feel like, but 13.2 was pretty cool what they did with the time. Like you can travel through time and stuff. Trying to think what else. This game had like the monster capturing kind of Pokemon-esque, which I didn't mind. It was pretty cool. Again, when it comes to like the story of these two games and just the 13 trilogy in general, I don't really gravitate it towards at all. I feel like it's very convoluted, and I don't know, I feel like it could have just been told better, but I enjoy it. For the time being, I think it probably is a bit better than 13, but if I replay it, because 13 2, I've only ever played fully through once, as opposed to 13, which I played, I think, 2 or 3 times. If I play through 13 2 again, yeah, 13 might edge it, but I'll leave it there for now. Lightning Returns, I haven't played. Now, I heard this game has a time limit, but actually a big fan of Majora's Mask, so that's actually not what's deterring me from it. I will get to this game eventually. I just have such a huge backlog, but I want to play it at some point. I feel like the battle system I might gravitate towards as well. 14, I haven't played 14 yet. I want to play at some point. As I mentioned, the MMOs I haven't given a chance yet, but I will at some point. Final Fantasy 15. Now, this game is very interesting. This is the only Final Fantasy game I've ever bought on launch date when it originally launched. And I remember beating this game in like 4 or 5 days, and I remember really enjoying it at the time. But I don't know, I tried to go back to this game in the Royal Edition like about a year ago, and that's like what 8 years from when I originally played it. And I don't know, I feel like I didn't enjoy it as much. This game has like a huge open world, but I feel like it's just kind of bland. I don't know. I find it like very hard to kind of enjoy the world map in this game. The characters I feel like are really what's like the best aspect of this game. That and the music. Well, I think the music is by far the best thing in this game. This is a Yoko Shimomura, and she's done stuff like Kingdom Hearts, and she's actually like top three favorite composers for me. So I think this game has an absolutely stunning soundtrack. This is probably what I'd rank at like number 5 for soundtracks, but the gameplay, I don't know what it is about like action RPGs. I love like the Tales series, but I find them harder to get into than turn-based. And it's I'm not kind of a fan of how the newer games are going with this like action RPG sort of direction, but I would slot this in the B tier. I'm not the biggest fan of this game to be honest. Like I love the soundtrack and the characters are cool, but stuff like the story and gameplay, I'm not really a big fan of. In fact, I would play 3 over 15. I just get more enjoyment out of it. Final Fantasy 16. Now I don't have a PS5, but I think this game got ported to PC, or it's gonna get ported to PC soon, so I'll get to it at some point, but I actually want to play it. I feel like I might enjoy it more than 15, but again, it has that action battle system. I've heard some good things about the story, but I've heard like very mixed things from this game, so I don't that's gonna be a shock. I don't know. I'll just have to play it to see. Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I feel very mixed about these Final Fantasy 7 remakes. Now, I know a lot of people actually love the remakes. I got this game. I forgot, this is also another game that I got upon launch. And I enjoyed it, but I never beat it. Like, I got pretty far, I think like 15, 20 hours, and I just bit down and got sidetracked and never really came back to it. I never really liked the battle system. Again, it's not bad, it just wasn't for me. It was cool, like revisiting the Seven world and stuff. It's such a beautiful game. They definitely changed quite a few things, and I don't know. I just much prefer going back to the original. I'm gonna make my way through all of these games at some point. I feel like where it stands now, I'd probably put it in the high B tier, maybe low A tier, but again, I haven't officially beat it, so I don't want to fully rank it. But not the biggest fan of those remakes. Maybe I just need to replay them again because it has been like 8 years, or that didn't come out that long. I think that came out around like quarantine, so 4 or 5 years ago. So at some point, I'll pick that back up and I'll play through that in Rebirth. I might just wait till the whole thing's done because I'm not a big fan of how they did the episodic thing, but I will get to it at some point. Yeah, that's my rankings on the Final Fantasy series. As you can see, I hold these games in very high regard. I don't have a single game in the C tier. I don't think they've really released a mediocre game. In fact, even 1 and 2, I think, are actually are pretty solid games. So yeah, I enjoyed making this tier list. I will be making more of these for others video game series. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on another video. All right, see ya.